Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate at the University of Alberta, it is my privilege to introduce Cheryl Whiskeyjack for the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws, our institution's highest honor. An Indigenous leader and community advocate, Ms. Whiskeyjack has made remarkable contributions to engaging communities and driving social change, while bridging relationships between non-Indigenous and Indigenous peoples in the spirit of reconciliation, making her an exceptional model for students, faculty, and staff at the University of Alberta. Ms. Whiskeyjack has committed her whole life to serving the community. She joined Bent Arrow Traditional Healing Society when it first opened in 1994. Since becoming executive director in 2008, she has grown the organization to include over 20 programs for children, youth, and families, as well as more than 100 staff. The programs offered by the Society include welcome services for new Indigenous Edmontonians and other newcomers, nutrition and employment programs, children's services, counseling and support, spiritual counseling, cultural programming, housing programs, and family events to share Indigenous culture with everyone. Julian Daly, the former executive director of Boyle Street Community Services, says, "I think it's safe to say that Cheryl is the preeminent Indigenous leader in our city. Over the years, she has slowly and relentlessly built a reputation for credible, authentic, honest, and trusted advocacy and action for Indigenous people and the core issues that affect them. Her leadership has made an invaluable member on numerous boards that serve society's most vulnerable, including the Canadian Accreditation Council of Human Services, the Align Association of Community Services. She has contributed to the work of End Poverty Edmonton since its inception and currently acts as co-chair of the Stewardship Roundtable. She's also an appointed member of the National Advisory Council on Poverty. She acts as a mentor for the Edmonton Chamber of Voluntary Organizations Executive Director Mentorship Program and represents Bent Arrow through C5, a unique collaborative of 5 nonprofits using innovative engagement and advocacy in service delivery in Edmonton's Northwest. Ms. Whiskeyjack's work and service align with the university's goal of working toward reconciliation and the betterment of our community and university, embodying the spirit of for the public good. She is a pillar of community and a model of productive engagement for our staff and students. Today, we honor her unwavering commitment to collaboration and community-based initiatives. We recognize her vision, compassion, intelligence, and her dedication to achieve systemic and social change that improves the lives of Edmonton's most vulnerable. And we celebrate her unique ability to, in the words of a fellow nominator, manifest the spirit of reconciliation through honoring the gifts of the diversity in the community. Eminent Chancellor, with great pride and respect, I present Cheryl Whiskeyjack.
Eminent Chancellor, President Flanagan, Board Chair Chisholm, elders, distinguished guests, distinguished colleagues, Maria Mayan, Dr. Maria Mayan, faculty of the Dean of Extension, to my dad, Robert Whiskeyjack, and Robert Caboni, and my nephew, Robert Half, for being here today, as well as members of the graduating class of 2021. Thank you for this incredible honor. A storyteller by nature, I want to share with you all here today a story about a dream I had not too long ago. I pay attention to my dreams. They soothe, warn, validate. They always have a message. In this dream, I was in a cabin familiar to me. It was a wonderful place of sanctuary, relaxation, and fun. It was the family cabin of one of my biggest mentors, Shauna Seneca. She, along with her husband Brad, are the founders of the organization I have spent my entire career at, the Bent Arrow Traditional Healing Society. We are an organization that employs about 250 people in about 18 different programs and services for urban Indigenous folks here in Edmonton and area. Back to my dream. Along with visiting, we were signing some very serious legal documents. After I signed and initialed in all the tabbed spots, Shauna took a turn. While she was signing those documents, I was at the window looking out at the water. It was a gray, stormy day, and the water had large, scary-looking swells on it. I remember feeling anxious at the swells that were curling and very angry-looking. Shauna saw my anxiety and assured me it would all be okay. That was my dream. My friend and mentor passed away in 2006, way too soon after suffering complications from knee surgery. A visionary of things large and small, she wrote me a letter before she passed. In it, she assured me that Bent Arrow would be fine under my leadership and that she would be around if I needed her. I've led that organization since 2008. She was an extraordinary, ordinary citizen of this city and province. She was you. She was me. She is the product of this place we are starting to once again call Wiikwemkoong. There is now a school named in her honor in southeast Edmonton. This city remembers her. This is the richness of the soil under our feet, rich with opportunity, rich with history. This is the reason so many come and the reason so many stay. About a week after that dream, we were notified that 5 of our programs were going to be cut to make way for a new way of working with families. Initially, it was hard news to take, but we were all too soon about to find out that everything is relative, because about 6 months later, the entire planet was under threat by a virus. These were the dark and stormy waters of my dream. This was what was to come, and we would be okay. My takeaway from this, and what I'm trying to share with you all here today, is that change is a given, but it's how we navigate those waters that makes all the difference. Challenges are opportunities for change. This itsy tiny virus is here to challenge us to do things differently. I often hear stories from many colleagues that COVID has taught us that there are things we said we couldn't do that are now a part of everyday life, and that they hope that some things stay and continue after the threat is gone, and also things that we once did that we should never do again. I really appreciate this honor today. I often refer to myself as a settler here in Treaty 6, as my family moved here from the east many years ago for the same reasons that all settlers do: opportunity. Not long after we came, the boom went bust, and we stayed. My dad raised me and my 3 sisters as a single dad after our mother passed away shortly after we moved here. I met the love of my life as a young lady of 18, and we've been married for 30 years now. With him came a family who has the same connectedness and values as my own, and I count myself as one of them. I have reflected on what I've done to earn the right to stand here today, and I boiled it down to 3 simple words. I showed up. On fun days, hard days, breakthrough days, tragic days, I showed up. I didn't show up alone either. I showed up with many other extraordinary, ordinary citizens of this city and province. I have colleagues in government, law enforcement, so many other nonprofits, municipal, provincial, federal colleagues, and of course, in academia. I work alongside an incredible team at Bent. That's what we call it. We innovate, we collaborate, design, tackle, untangle so much, and all while we serve. I also showed up with all parts of me ready to do the work. I am physically there, or in COVID times, my camera is on, with all the senses that Creator gave me: eyes to see, ears to hear, a mind to formulate and understand, and a heart to go forward in a good way, in the spirit of collaboration and treaty. I use my voice, and I have colleagues and partners that have held space and elevated my message, and I theirs. I give a shout out to my C5 colleagues for that. 5 reputable, diverse organizations here in Edmonton that serve over 30,000 citizens collectively. Extraordinary, ordinary people. I serve. I take what I've learned, I share it on boards and committees, like End Poverty Edmonton. Wouldn't that be cool? To be a part of the extraordinary, ordinary citizens that end poverty? So show up. Build sustainable housing, like my fellow recipient, Dr. Reza Nassiri. Find new ways to cure people, like my fellow recipient, Dr. Ruth Collins Nakai. And create pathways for inclusion to the pillars of a just society, like my fellow recipient, Her Honor, Alberta's Lieutenant Governor, Salma Lakhani. All amazing, wonderful recipients who showed up, worked hard, shared their voice and wisdom. Miigwech for this honor.
Dr. Cheryl Whiskeyjack, thank you for sharing your story and your wisdom with our university family. You're an inspiring example of leadership, service, and accomplishment, and your words about just showing up so resonate with all of us, especially on a day like today. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again.